Hey everyone! Oh my gosh, it's Tuesday. Do you love Tuesdays? What's another name we can give Tuesday? I'm gonna just be thankful today. I know it's not Thursday. Thankful that could rhyme with Thursday, but I'm thankful today. And I would like to share why I'm so thankful. For the prior 11 days of my life, prior to today, I've been suffering in an episode that just didn't seem to ever end. It was so annoying. It was so frustrating, annoying. I came on live last Wednesday and I was talking about it, and that day I really was suffering bad from allergies on top of my Meniere's disease episode. And so it was really hard for me to go live that day. And then the Meniere's disease kind of took over. It got worse every single day. It got worse and it got worse. But I'm back to normal. Today is my first day back to normal. And I just want to, praise him because I know he answered lots of prayers. And that's the title of this live, Prayer Matters. And that was the title of our sermon on Sunday at church. And I just wanted to share just a little snippet of a little portion of that sermon with you guys because it really hit home. Sunday was like my worst day. This is how I woke up. I woke up early Sunday morning. Now remember, it was daylight savings went into effect 2 a.m. on Sunday. So it was like an hour earlier than I'm used to getting. I get up at 5:30 on Sundays because I got to be to church by 7:30. I got to get myself and the kids up, ready, and off to church, right? Hi, Justine. How are you doing? And so I woke up at 5:30, which my body was like, why are we up right now? It's 4:30 in the morning. But no, it was 5:30 because of the time change. And I couldn't hear a thing out of this ear. Like, seriously, I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like it, but it was so annoying. Now, I could hear a little bit. Like, I tested it. I plugged this ear up, and then I held something up to my ear. I could kind of hear it. I tell people it was like, maybe I had 5% of my hearing. I don't know. It was significantly not there. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Angela. Oh, okay, not a problem. Go and come back. So I couldn't hear anything. I felt so awkward. Like, I couldn't, I don't know how to describe it. But I was telling people, it's kind of like, in addition to not being able to hear, there was all this pressure built up in it. Like, if you're descending in an airplane and your ears don't pop, well, this ear was fine. But this ear was pressurized. So it was really, the pressure was built up pretty significantly. I couldn't hear. And there was this really loud ringing. Actually, I don't even remember. But there was a loud ringing. I couldn't hear it. But no, there's the loud ringing. But anyways, hi guys. So it was really uncomfortable. I felt awkward and I was very uncomfortable. And oh my gosh, my phone will not stop telling me that the backup has failed. Okay, I don't need to know every 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, it just did it again every 2 seconds. Anyway, hi Renee. So then we're getting ready and trying to go to church. And so this is like typical of having a Meniere's disease episode where over the course of several days, it just gets worse and worse. Like my hearing starts to diminish over the course. Each day it gets a little worse. The pressure buildup, it gets more intense day after day. This is like the longest I could remember since being diagnosed that I've had an episode last. So I was also freaking out that, oh my gosh, this could be my life now. This might be my life sentence. I was just on here going live last Wednesday saying, like, I know it's just a phase. It's going to be fine. But the longer it goes on, you start thinking these thoughts and it takes over. And you start feeling crazy. Or I did. I literally felt crazy. So anyways, I go to church. So grateful. I had some people pray for me, which was a godsend. And then we listened to, oh my gosh, seriously? My phone needs to chill out. It's telling me like, okay, I know the update was failed. Hi, Irma. Anyways, so then the sermon, it was called Prayer Matters. And a big portion of the sermon was based out of the book of Daniel. Seriously. And so, yes, Justine, today is the first day I feel normal again. Normal, whatever that means, right? So I have my hearing back. Anyways, I'm going to tell the story of the sermon. So the book of Daniel, and the portion, it's out of chapter 10. Hi, Tammy. Oh, thanks for catching me live. Oh my gosh, I got to stop saying hi to everybody. Hi, Tracy. So the book of Daniel, chapter 10, where it's the third year. Okay, I'm just going to read right from it. Hi, everybody. Wow. Apparently, I need to go live at 2 p.m. on a weekday. Anyway, so here it goes. Starting from verse 1, it says, in the third year of the reign of King Cyrus of Persia, Daniel had another vision. So, Daniel was able to interpret, actually, God told him what the dream of, oh my gosh, I can't think of his name, the previous king of Babylon. I forget. Anyway, so bad. But so now he's got another vision, and he understood that the vision concerned events certain to happen in the future, times of war and great hardship. So then he fasted. So verse 2, when this vision came to me, so he then is going to have another vision. I had to read this like 3 times before I was like, oh, wait a second. So then he's like, when this vision came to me, I, Daniel, had been in mourning for 3 whole weeks because of this other vision of times of war and great hardship. So he had been in mourning for 3 whole weeks. All that time I had eaten no rich food, no meat or wine crossed my lips, and I used no fragrant lotions until those 3 weeks had passed. On April 23rd, as I was standing on the bank of the great Tigris River, I looked up and I saw a man dressed in linen clothing with a belt of pure gold around his waist. His body looked like a precious gem. His face flashed like lightning, and his eyes flamed like torches. His arms and feet shone like polished bronze, and his voice roared like a vast multitude of people. Only I, Daniel, saw this vision. So he had been fasting and mourning for 3 weeks before this time. So he's at the Tigris River and he sees a man. Anyways, the men with me saw nothing, but they were suddenly terrified and ran away to hide. So I was left there all alone to see this amazing vision. My strength left me, of course. I think I would be freaked out at this point. My face grew deathly pale and I felt very weak. Then I heard the man speak, and when I heard the sound of his voice, I fainted and lay there with my face to the ground. Just then, a hand touched me and lifted me, still trembling, to my hands and knees. And the man said to me, Daniel, you are very precious to God, so listen carefully to what I have to say to you. Stand up, for I have been sent to you. When he said this to me, I stood up, still trembling. It's crazy. Can you imagine? Anyway. Then he said, don't be afraid, Daniel. Since the first day you began to pray for understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your request has been heard in heaven. I come in answer to your prayer. So his prayer was heard. He said, hang on. Where did it go? since the first day, right? And this is what really hit home to me at church. Because I'd been praying for relief, for healing in my inner ear. So my Meniere's disease affects my left inner ear, and it's backwards. So this actually looks right to you. But nothing was changing. I started to get like super discouraged. And even Saturday night, I said goodnight to my husband, and I said, because he stays up later than me. So I said goodnight, and I asked him to pray for me. And I literally said this because apparently my prayers aren't enough to heal me. And I'm at church the next day, completely stopped up. I couldn't hear anything. And the pressure was like pretty overbearing. Anyway, and then I hear this, and I'm like, I wonder if he heard my prayers, right? So it goes on to say, so let me repeat verse 12. Don't be afraid, Daniel, since the first day you began to pray for understanding and to humble yourself before your God. Your request has been heard in heaven. I come in answer to your prayer. But for 21 days, the spirit prince of the kingdom of Persia blocked my way. Then Michael, one of the archangels, came to help me, and I left him there with the spirit prince of the kingdom of Persia. So, like, we can't see what's going on in the heavenly realms, in the spirit. We can't see that. We might freak out if we could. And I think some people have that ability. I do not. So anyway, going on, I just thought it was really cool because I remember I read the Bible in a year every year. So for like the past 3 years, I've done it. So when he talked about this verse, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember reading this and thinking, wow, that's really interesting that he got held up by a spirit prince. Anyway, okay. But then he goes on to say, now I am here to explain what will happen to your people in the future, for this vision concerns a time yet to come. Anyway, while he was speaking to me, I looked down at the ground, unable to say a word. Then the one who looked like a man touched my lips, and I opened my mouth and began to speak. I said to the one standing in front of me, I am filled with anguish because of the vision I have seen, my Lord, and I am very weak. How can someone like me, your servant, talk to you, my Lord? My strength is gone. I can hardly breathe. I'll just finish this book, or this chapter. Then the one who looked like, oh wait, I said that already. Don't be afraid, he said, for you are very precious. Hang on. No, I didn't say that. Hang on. How can someone like me, I'm so sorry, your servant talk to you, my Lord? My strength is gone. I can hardly breathe. Then the one who looked like a man touched me again, and I felt my strength returning. Don't be afraid, he said, for you are very precious to God. Peace, be encouraged, be strong. As he spoke these words to me, I suddenly felt stronger and said to him, please speak to me, my Lord, for you have strengthened me. He replied, do you know why I have come? Soon I must return to fight against the spirit prince of the kingdom of Persia, and after that the spirit prince of the kingdom of Greece will come. Meanwhile, I will tell you what is written in the book of truth. And then in parentheses, it says, no one helps me against these spirit princes except Michael, your spirit prince. So, like, things are happening. I mean, our prayers are being heard, but just because a prayer isn't immediately answered doesn't mean it's not going to be answered, right? It's in his time, and there's apparently these demons that are angels are having to fight, and it blew my mind, and I felt really bad about saying what I said to my husband the night before, like, apparently my prayers aren't good enough. And so I did receive some prayers at church, and I was very hopeful, and I received what had been prayed over me. Went home on Sunday, and that afternoon about 4:30, I started getting vertigo. And for me, that is the sign that my episode is about to end. So thankfully I was at home, because not all the time I'm at home when this starts. So I got into bed and just kind of like, I closed the door, closed the blinds, and just tried to wait it out. I actually tried to go to sleep, but I don't think I went to sleep. About an hour and a half later, I got up, to go to the bathroom, and the vertigo was over. And I was like mind blown, because it normally lasts about 3 hours from, based on my past experiences. And I'm like, wow, that was a fast stint of vertigo. But I could hear out of my ear, there was this really loud ringing left, and that's normal. That usually, will go away by the next day. And so I was very hopeful that I was going to feel better. Yes, in Jesus' name. Oh, I'll have to check that out, Tracy. Sorry, I'm not watching everybody's comments. But so then yesterday I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's still ringing really, really loud. And the longer the day progressed, I'm like, there's still pressure in here. And I was really sensitive to just noise. Any noise, it just really was uncomfortable. It was like, oh, that hurts, inside. And I'm like, I don't remember ever having this as like a after effect of one of my episodes. So I kind of like toughed it out through the day yesterday. And then I told one of my prayer warriors that, what was happening throughout the day. And she said she was going to pray for me. And then I went to bed, and I didn't actually see her message until this morning. But I went to bed, and then I started getting another episode of vertigo. And I'm like, maybe it wasn't fully over. So I'd never experienced this before. So then I fell asleep eventually, and then woke up this morning, and I'm back to normal. I can hear, there's no pressure. There's still like a ring, but that's normal. That started like in 2009. I remember it's January 2009, this like ring in my ear. It sucks, but it's not as loud as it was, and I'm back to normal. I got my energy back. I'm still kind of dealing with allergies, but it's not as bad as it was last week. So our prayers matter, and they are being heard. And I now believe there were demons that were blocking the way for my prayers to be answered. Anyway, I just thought I'd come on and share that. I hope that gave somebody some hope for your future, because, our strength is in Him, and if we don't have Him, like, we can't survive, and it makes the world, a world of difference to have Him in our hearts, in our lives, and be able to, like, pray for others and just share our own faith with others. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. And if you are hopping on the replay, comment #replay, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.